It's like evening time, so he's a little bit sleepy. Hello. He's not interested. So hi everyone. For this video, I am going to tell you my life story because, I get comments in other videos. People are like weirded out by the fact that I'm Korean, but I speak English like this. So instead of having to respond to everyone separately, I thought I would just explain everything now, and then if anyone asks me in the future, I can just refer them back to this video. And also, I'm going to have a glass of beer while I tell you my story because I feel like it will just help me get out the words easier. And I just wanted to have one. I haven't had a single drop of alcohol since the 1st of January. I was drinking in December, 100% during Christmas and the holidays, but then from 1st of January, I haven't had a single drop of alcohol, so this is my first one since the new year. So I have a San Miguel here. I just brought whatever we have in our fridge. I'm not being sponsored. I wish. If any beer company wants to sponsor me, please email me because I can do such a good job. Oh my god, so good. Oh. So I was born in Seoul, South Korea in 1994, and I have a younger brother who was born 2 years later than me. And my mom was one of those typical tiger moms. Like, she was really super strict, really wanting us to do everything, be good at everything and try everything. So it was like a craze at the time. I mean, it still is, but it was, I think, especially a craze then to try to send your kids to study abroad. And my mom's plan was to do exactly that because everyone in Korea has to learn English, right? And she thought the faster you learn a language, the longer it stays with you and the less of an accent you have when you speak it. So her plan was, I'm gonna take the kids to an English speaking country. And so my mom did exactly that, but I remember my mom and my dad having huge arguments over this life decision because my dad, obviously, he had to stay in Korea to work. My mom wanted to take me and my brother abroad, and he obviously was not happy about that, but you can't really out-argue my mom, I would say. So when I was 7 and my brother was 5, my mom decided to take us to England, and we were going to attend school for at least 1 year. Also, I have to mention, I started learning the violin from when I was 5 or 6, and I did this because, well, my mom forced me to, and the reason why she did this because her dad, so my granddad, was a violin teacher. Apparently, when she was a child, she never got the opportunity to learn for some reason. So then she made me and my brother learn violin, piano, all of this. So then we moved to England. I was just super excited at the time. I've never seen a person that doesn't look like an Asian person. We moved to a place called New Malden, which is like a Koreatown. I started attending school straight away. And I had started learning English in Korea previously. Oh, and also, I have to mention, my name, Anna. It is actually my name because I actually have it on my official documents. But I also have a Korean name, which is Ji-Yun Lee. So Lee Ji-Yun in Korean. And I got this name Anna because when I started attending English lessons, English academy, one of the teachers were just assigning everyone, do you want to have an English name? And everyone thought it was a really fun idea. And so they just said, oh, you're Anna. And I was like, okay. And then when I got to school in the UK, my mom was like, do you just want to go by Anna? I was like, okay, fine. And so everyone called me Anna from then on. My Korean name is Ji-Yun Lee, for any of you who do not know. And that's why my Instagram handle is JY Anna Lee. Yeah, I just thought I would explain. Me and my brother, we both learned English really fast. It just comes naturally because you're just surrounded by English-speaking people. So even though at the beginning I could not understand anything, I think I basically learned how to speak fluently in about 4 months. I had brought my violin from Korea and my mom wanted me to keep it going. And so I started having violin lessons with this Russian teacher, and I would go to her house twice a week, and she was really strict and super scary. But since I was used to it from my mom, I could handle it. So it was coming up to almost 2 years since we had left Korea. And my mom was thinking, okay, it's time for us to go back now. It's time for us to go back to your dad. You guys can speak perfect English now. But then my violin teacher, she was working at this boarding school. And it was a boarding school for musicians like me, classical musicians. So I went and auditioned for this school and they accepted, which actually caused a huge load of other problems because my mom thought this was such a unique opportunity that not many people have, and so she obviously wanted me to attend. So this school was basically like a Hogwarts, you know, from Harry Potter. You stay there for like the whole term, and then during the holidays you go back home to see your family and stuff. Or some kids would go back every weekend. Obviously for me, I would have to stay there during term time and then only go back during Christmas, Easter and summer holidays. And obviously my dad, he was already unhappy with the fact that he had lost like seeing us for 2 years, you know. The fact that my mom wanted me to attend boarding school from the age of 10, and the fact that I wasn't going to grow up at home with them, he was super unhappy. But obviously, you know, my mom, she gets what she wants. So I started attending this school. When I joined, it was 60 people in the whole school. And in my class at the time, I think there was about 5 people. Our school was extremely high pressure, I would say. Really talented young people, and we all practiced hard, and you were expected to get good results. So not only we would have academic exams, we would also have music performance exams every term, and you would get assessed, and we would have regular concerts. We had a concert hall at the school and we performed regularly. So it was kids from all over the world. Everyone was so mixed. I was there for 8 years, from the age of 10 to 18. And for those years, I never experienced any racism because we were all such from different backgrounds, but it didn't matter because we were all there studying the same thing. But then as I went through puberty, I was just getting so irritated by everything my mom was pushing onto me. So she would obviously regularly like check up on me by calling. Typical Asian parenting, like she would compare me to other kids. And when she came to a performance and she thought that I didn't play well enough, she would really give me such a hard time about it. I had so many arguments with my mom growing up because, first of all, she was not a musician herself, you know, and the fact that she was telling me to do all these things when I knew that you're not even a professional musician, you don't really know what you're talking about. And I would have such huge arguments with her over this. She wanted me to practice in any free time that I had. And I think I have talked about this in previous videos, but my mom would beat me if she was super unhappy with something I was doing. Being completely 100% honest, there were so many times in my teenage years when I seriously just resented my mom a lot. Really resented her. So from my puberty years, because I felt constantly like I was just never good enough because my mom was constantly telling me this. And I think I started to have anxiety from my teenage years because when I was first playing violin, I was not nervous at all performing, going on stage. But then from the age of like 15 onwards, I started to dread going on stage and performing to people because I would just literally get shakes. My hands, my legs, everything. And even if I had practiced everything really well in the practice room, when I went on stage, I played like 50 times worse. And then that would already perpetuate the problem because I was like, I can't even perform to people. Everything is shaking. I can't concentrate. My mind is racing. My heart is racing. But I've practiced all these years to perform to people. But if I can't even do that, then what am I? What is the point of me existing? Well, not to that extent, but I really started like to just doubt myself all the time. So I think from like the age of 15, I just started to have really strong feelings of like self-doubt and like hatred almost. Be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like everyone else is fine, but you're so like worried and anxious all the time. And then that obviously comes out on stage because you perform way worse than you did in the practice room. So the problem started, from then. And then we had to audition for music college. And then fortunately, I got accepted with a full scholarship. So from the age of 18, we left boarding school and then we started living a whole new life in London. Obviously, when you're in your first year of university, you meet loads of new people, you party a lot, you go out drinking a lot. And I did that in my first year of uni. And I also met my like first ever like proper boyfriend in my first year of university. I was 18 and I thought I was so in love with this guy. My whole world revolved around him. And when you're that age, you're so full of hormones and emotions, and everything was just so fun and new for me. So I was with this guy for 1 year and then we broke up. We broke up because we realized we were just actually way too different people. Wait, let me just refill my beer. So we broke up because we were just way too different. He was very religious. Him and his entire family were really devout Christians, and I am very not. That was my first ever breakup also, and it was so hard for me because obviously your first boyfriend, you imagine like, I'm gonna get married to this guy and we're gonna be together forever. Like I love him so much. You break up and it's like your first ever painful experience like that, and I thought I was going to die. I really did. And it was like November when we broke up. That December, I really think I experienced some form of depression, like for a few weeks at least, because basically from my second year of university, I could not go back to Korea for several years because I was trying to get my indefinite leave to remain. The route that I was taking is that you have to have lived here continuously for 10 years, and you cannot have been out of the country for more than 540 days during those 10 years. And obviously, when I was younger and I was attending boarding school, I was going back 3 times a year. So I was definitely out of the country for more than 54 days out of the year. So to try and get rid of the time spent out of the UK, I now had to just stay in the UK completely and not go out at all until I had fulfilled that requirement. And at this point, I was living in a flat with 3 other friends from university, and they had all gone home to their respective countries for Christmas. And so I was left alone in the flat. Me and my boyfriend had just recently broken up, so I felt so alone. And so for weeks, I think I just literally just stayed in bed and eat. And so I gained a lot of weight during that time. And I remember waking up, checking the time and feeling like, why am I awake? I just want to be like sleeping like constantly. I just don't want to like face reality. I just wanted the time to pass, which is awful now thinking about it, but I literally just did not like being awake. It was so miserable. Eventually, like my flatmates came back and university started again, and then I got out of it. But in my final year of my bachelor, I met my second boyfriend. I ended up being with that boyfriend for nearly 4 years. That is quite a long time, right? To be with someone, especially when you're in your early 20s. That relationship taught me so much. And to be honest, and me and this guy, we are still friends to this day. You know, when you've known someone for 4 years, they've basically become like your family. I know not everyone can do this with their exes. I definitely couldn't with my first boyfriend, but with this last boyfriend, we want the best for each other and that's it. But absolutely no romantic feelings there left at all anymore. And so I've graduated all of my studies. I was finally able to start working as a freelance musician, and then COVID turned the whole world upside down. So that literally halted our entire industry. I freaked out. A lot of my musician friends, some of them have completely just switched careers to something else because they're like, we have actually no income coming in for the next however months that this thing is gonna last. It's lost a whole year, and I can tell you guys that we still don't have concerts back to normal. Luckily, I was still able to teach during this time, so it's not like I had zero income, but basically all my other income from performing or anything like that, that was all completely gone. I never in a million years thought I would ever be doing YouTube. And I probably never would have if COVID had never happened. But I think just starting YouTube just came out of like sheer desperation. I just felt like I had to do something. I really envied people that could work online. So that's why I started my YouTube channel in May of last year. From about 4 months in, I first started making money. Honestly, like I said in previous videos, but starting my YouTube channel was one of the best things I did last year. Not just because it's like started making me money, but I've made so many new friends and connections through being on YouTube, which I am so grateful for. So while we're on the topic of YouTube, I just want to quickly thank the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. You can explore new skills, deepen your existing passions, and get lost in your creativity. A class that interests me recently is Productivity for Creators. Build a system that brings out your best by Thomas Frank, and he is a YouTuber, author, and entrepreneur. And so I am always looking to be the most effective in the shortest amount of time, so to really spend every second of the day in the most time efficient way possible. So this is perfect for me. And what's really nice about Skillshare is that it's curated specifically for learning, which means there are no ads. Yes. And they're constantly launching new premium classes, so you can always explore and follow where your creativity takes you. and it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. So Skillshare have kindly given me a link to give to you guys, so the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. So go check it out if you want to go and learn something new. And also, whether I'm going back to London or not. Basically, I think you can kind of guess my decision at this point. I am staying in Korea, probably indefinitely, because I don't know, I've just had enough of living in London. I have friends for sure, and you know who you are. I miss you now, and I will miss every single one of you, but the thought of going back to London to live by myself and struggling by myself, paying all that expensive rent, it just gives me such bad anxiety and makes me really feel bad. So I think I am just much happier living here in Korea. I don't feel drunk at all. I actually just made like a new bank account in Korea, and I actually got myself a new Korean phone number. I am planning on just like continuing to stay here and live here and try to make like a living for myself here. So yeah, this is my video telling you guys that's my decision. I basically finished my beer. I think I will sleep well tonight. So if you have lasted this long, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.